When facing unemployment or wanting to change to a more freedom-oriented career, renegades create new opportunities for themselves and for others like them. And a recession-proof business is not something that's unheard of or even really that rare, because many of the most successful companies operating today had their beginnings during recession. Also, if you're looking to invest or if you're looking for investors, and experienced investors know that during recessions, it's a great opportunity to move their money from the stock market and invest in promising new businesses. So today on Renegade News, we're discussing 7 inflation-proof businesses that you might want to look into. Welcome back to Renegade News. I'm your host, Glenn Kowalski. Every week on this channel, we discuss the latest news, strategies, and tactics for breaking free from the system, paying less tax, and living anywhere in the world that you want. So let's just dive right on into it. There are a number of benefits to starting a business during a crisis like this. Starting something new during a crisis could work in your favor because you're going to face a lot less competition. Also, costs in starting a business during this crisis period could be lower because manufacturers, suppliers, and vendors are usually willing to negotiate the prices during times like this. Also, you might be able to acquire equipment or rent equipment at a lower cost because companies are selling their goods at a low cost to make at least some earnings during these difficult times. You could even find that you're having an easier time to get qualified workers who have the skill sets that you're looking for because they've been laid off other businesses due to this lousy economy. Another benefit of starting a business at this type of time and in this type of environment includes setting up your business for subsequent success when the economy recovers. If you succeed during a recession, you're going to excel when the economy becomes optimal and is on a boom. The first thing that you need to do is research recession-proof industries and focus on starting your business in a low-risk business idea that considers clients' needs that are actually caused by the recession that we're in. Then if you manage to solve the problems that people are facing, you can make a significant profit. One of the common ones that I think is around in really any environment, but could do really well in a recession, and certainly is recession-proof, is vending machine routes. And you can get started in these with a really modest investment by buying a vending machine and just starting. Once you have your first vending machine, all you need to do is find a well-trafficked location that will generate sales for you. It really is as simple as that. And a lot of people have made some nice small fortunes with vending machines. The thing I don't like about it is that it's not location independent unless you can hire somebody to actually take care of those machines, which certainly wouldn't be that difficult to do because the servicing of the machines isn't that difficult. So you would start out with a single machine, you'd figure out how the business works and then slowly expand. And like I said, if you're a renegade, you're going to slowly expand by finding people who can stock those machines for you so you can get your freedom back. Before you know it, you could have a vending machine empire that can generate thousands of dollars per month in mostly passive income for you and completely passive if you have somebody else doing the work. When you combine the low failure rate of that industry with the affordable startup costs and the simple operations, I think you do have a winning formula here. Like I said, I don't like the non-location independent aspects of it, but I think you can work around those fairly easily. The next is a rental property business. And this is something that I've been involved in, and it's not easy, but it is a very powerful industry to get in. And it's something that I think everybody should be looking at some point in their renegade life. Andrew Carnegie famously said that 90% of all millionaires became so through owning real estate. More money has been made in real estate than in all industrial investments combined. And the wise young man or wage earner of today invests his money in real estate. I think that that's true. We've put out another video talking about how it's harder and harder to get into that real estate business because of the housing bubble we're in. But if you can get in and generate with rental types of properties, I think that's a great place to put your money, your effort, and your skills, because I think it's a great way to build wealth. And why do I think it's such a great business? Well, you can enjoy a cash flow every single month if you do it right, and your tenants are paying down your mortgage for you as they're living in the properties. Your properties also are going to tend to appreciate over the long term. Now, keep in mind, this is over the long term. If you have a flipper attitude or a flipper mindset, you could be in for a burn, especially in a time like this when the market prices are going so crazy. So you have to be careful there. But if you think about it over the long term, generally speaking, real estate will continue to appreciate. And if you combine those features with the fact that you can buy rental properties with a loan and use that leverage to increase your returns even more, you really have a very powerful wealth generator there. Plus, your rental property business can be structured to generate passive income. All you need to do is hire a property manager. You don't need to, but again, I believe strongly in hiring people so that you can have that freedom and make that passive income. We have, with a few of our properties, we manage them ourselves. With others, we have property management just because it works out better on that combination of properties. Another business that I see booming in times like this, and just about any time, is self-storage facilities. And if you like the idea of real estate investing, but you don't want to deal with tenants all the time, you don't want to deal with trash and toilets and all the other maintenance issues, self-storage facilities could be a great option for you. These businesses enjoy a 92% success rate, which is incredible when you look at most businesses failing. And if you want to make your self-storage business as passive as possible, you can start an unmanned self-storage business. And that makes it truly location independent because you don't have to be there. And the nice thing is that advances in technology is making this not only possible, but really easy to do. And people can now use their phones to book the storage unit, obtain the code, unlock the unit, and simply move their stuff in. No manager on site is even necessary anymore. So what a beautiful way to build a location independent business. Next, we have transportation businesses. And a transportation business is a business that delivers goods or people from one place to another for a fee. I see these growing in Panama right now. They're getting super popular. More and more people are using these. I think it was sort of the pandemic that really launched that business. It's not exactly location independent, but it is something you could do anywhere. Like I said, in Panama here, these are booming like crazy. And with the emergence of this e-commerce and the gig economy and online platforms, it's getting easier and easier to start this transportation business. This business can come in many forms, from a full-fledged long-haul trucking company and trucking business, which if you look at companies like Penske, is obviously a huge business to get into, but it can also be as simple as a little side hustle for driving Uber on the weekends. And everything in between. Uber Eats, Uber, delivering packages from PriceSmart or Costco, anything like that could be considered a transportation business. And like I said, they're getting more and more popular. Certain transportation businesses are going to be more risky than others, of course, but on average, you're looking at a really solid success rate for these types of companies. Next, we have agriculture, and I love agriculture. I think we should all be doing agriculture. Even if you're in an apartment, you should be doing agriculture for yourself. But agriculture businesses are highly resilient and tend to have a low failure rate. That's not true with farms. We've talked about that in other videos. There's nuances that you have to be aware of, but these types of agricultural companies can encompass many types of businesses, including farms and a host of related businesses. Another business that I've seen growing a lot is dump truck businesses. And according to Small Biz Trends, the mining industry has the greatest survival rate among all sectors. Now, of course, starting a mining company is going to be a complex type of endeavor, and it's going to take a ton of capital to actually do that. So it's not something that most renegades are going to be able to do off the start. But there is this clever little backdoor way to capitalize on the stability of those companies in the mining industry. If you start a dump truck business and you live near mining operations, there's always going to be demand for those dump trucks that can haul away coal or other materials that are being extracted from the mine. And the great thing is you don't have to spend millions of dollars to start the mining operation. You can get a used dump truck for as little as $15,000 and get into this business. Again, this isn't one of my favorites because you're obviously going to have to live where you're operating your dump truck. But it is something that if you are someplace where you're happy to be and you're looking for a way to get through these tough times, it could be a very versatile business to get into. And then at the end, you can always sell your dump truck as you move into other industries. Now, not only are dump trucks versatile, you're not limited to working within that mining industry, of course. So even if you don't live near a mine, there could be plenty of demand for your services coming from construction. That's a big one we saw in Panama. It's starting to slow down a lot, but a few years back, they were begging for dump truck companies to haul off construction waste. Another one is landscapers, real estate flippers, which is hot in the US right now, and even residential property owners who need to haul away large amounts of junk are going to need the services of a dump truck and dump truck drivers and that type of equipment. And finally today, one that I've mentioned before because it's popular in any economy, especially during a recession, is liquor and tobacco. During these times, people often become susceptible to these types of vices and more so than normal. So it's no surprise that alcohol and cigarettes sales are going to rise during these times. Now, if you decide to go in this direction, you should only supply the merchandise and secure the selling point. The business then becomes self-sustaining at that point. However, be aware that those types of businesses require a ton of licensing, a ton of government involvement, and not a lot of control, but they can be huge, huge, huge money makers and huge wealth generators if you can build the business up and hire staff and management to manage the business. They can also be managed by you remotely. And I know a lot of companies who specialize in buying those types of businesses and running them more or less hands-off. So in conclusion, contrary to popular belief, Businesses can be very successful during recession, and they can make significant profits. None of the ones that I've talked about here are necessarily my favorites, but they are good examples of businesses that are relatively easy to get into and are proven to survive recessions really well. And a recession can be the best time to start those types of businesses if you choose the type of business wisely. You need to focus on businesses that are immune to the recession, and that's the number one thing. But starting a business is only one of the strategies that you're going to need to survive over the next few years. You have to learn how to grow it, and you need to learn how to manage it, and you need to learn how to manage it hands off and become a CEO of your own company so that you're not trapped by that business and just buying yourself a job. You also need to discover the best ways to grow and protect your assets as that business grows. So that's why you should subscribe to Renegade News right now. Our mission is to help renegades like you find more freedom and independence in this unfree world. And Renegade News and Renegade News Live exists solely for that purpose. So while you're here, check out the videos you see on the screen right now. It's our latest upload, and it's going to discuss topics like cryptocurrency, other businesses that we think are great in this type of environment, how to grow those businesses, asset protection, and so much more. I'm Glenn Kowalski from Renegade News, and I'll see you over there.